Okay, so you know how every Florida neighborhood has that one story that just won't die. The kind of tale people whisper about at the mailbox or while pretending to water their plants. Well, buckle up, because what happened with that $2,000 mobile home over in Sun Palm Estates is so wild. Even our HOA president's jaw dropped, and trust me, she doesn't even blink when someone parks a boat on the lawn. So it starts like this. I'm scrolling through the local real estate Facebook group, because yes, I'm bored and yes, it's my guilty pleasure. And suddenly there's this post from a guy named Randy, classic Florida name, right? Who claims he can hook you up with a two-bedroom mobile home for $2K. Not 200,000, $2,000. I almost spit my iced coffee over my phone. Now, everyone in our zip code knows that a normal two-bed rental goes for, what, a grand a month if you're lucky. Sure, it's a mobile home park, so maybe you're only pulling in $700 rent if you really stretch it. But still, you can barely buy an air conditioner for $2K these days, let alone a whole house, wheels or not. But here, S where it gets juicy. This isn't just any Craigslist special. Randy says the wholesaler was asking 10 grand last week. Now it's down to 2. If you've lived in Florida long enough, you know when prices drop faster than Publix subs after hurricane season, something is up. My spidey senses are tingling, and not in a good way. I start texting my friend Jenny. She's the only person who loves real estate drama more than me, and she immediately goes full detective mode. She pulls up the address on Google Street View and sends me screenshots. Siding peeling off like sunburned skin, windows fogged up worse than my car at 7 a.m. Looks haunted, she types, or at least like Black Mold Central. But wait, there's more. The listing mentions water damage in both the living room and one of the bedrooms. No inspection allowed either, just hand over your 2 grand and hope your tetanus shot is up to date. The park wants it gone. Now I'm thinking, why would anyone sell a place for less than the cost of a rusty pontoon boat? Jenny says what we're all thinking. Bet the park owns it and they're basically giving it away. And here S where things go from weird to straight up sketchy. Lot rent is $500 a month, including utilities, sure, but come on. Every other park around charges $200 or $300 tops unless your lot comes with free flamingos or an alligator moat. So do you see the trap? Even before you fix anything, even before you set foot inside, you're already coughing up $500 every month. For what? For 4 walls and some mystery stains. I do some math on my napkin, because yes, I'm old school, and realize that every month spent trying to rehab this palace is another $500 slipping through your fingers like sunscreen sweat. Even if you could somehow fix this thing for under 20 grand, which, let's be honest, is as likely as finding a single parking spot at Clearwater Beach, you'd spend months paying lot rent before even collecting your first rent check. But then Jenny says something dangerous. What if it's repairable? She launches into this fantasy scenario, total rehab cost of $18K including holding costs and paint fumes-induced headaches. Maybe you squeak by and rent it for $700 a month. But here's the kicker. The numbers still barely break even after all that risk. At this point, I'm cackling, because only in Florida do people fantasize about flipping water-damaged mobile homes like they're lottery tickets. But hold on, the plot thickens. The next day at work, I sell insurance. Don't judge, my coworker Amanda blurts out over lunch. Did you hear about that trailer over in Sun Palm? My cousin tried to buy it. I nearly choke on my turkey sandwich. Turns out her cousin Mike actually put down a deposit, sight unseen. He Venmo'd Randy the wholesaler $500 to hold it while he arranged financing from his uncle in Ocala. Amanda says Mike shows up 2 days later with his uncle, who looks exactly like someone who lives off-grid and drinks Busch Light, only to find the unit padlocked shut by the park manager herself, Regina, the Raptor Davis. If you don't know Regina, count yourself lucky. She runs Sun Palm Estates like her own tiny dictatorship. Everyone jokes she keeps eviction notices pre-signed in her glove box just in case. Mike asks about his new home and Regina gives him that look, a mix between pity and are you stupid? She tells him flat out, that unit isn't yours to buy. Apparently the wholesaler never actually had title. The park repossessed it weeks ago after the last tenant skipped out owing 6 months, rent, and left behind 3 broken recliners plus what Amanda kindly described as mystery pet droppings. Mike flips out, calls Randy while standing there sweating through his shirt, and Randy suddenly claims he just needs another day to get everything sorted with paperwork. But Regina isn't done dropping bombs. Turns out the park plans to bulldoze half these older units anyway, because FEMA flagged them after last year's storm season for having structural deficiencies. Everyone knew there was water damage, but nobody mentioned black mold or termite tunnels until now. Jenny texts me later that afternoon, word travels fast, and says her aunt heard from her dog groomer that someone else tried to move into the same trailer last month and found squatters living inside. Real live squatters. They'd turned the busted AC into a makeshift fridge using bags of ice from the gas station across the street. At this point, I feel like I need popcorn because seriously, the drama just keeps coming. Now here's where things go from sketchy to downright criminal. Mike tries to get his deposit back from Randy, but Randy ghosts him faster than your ex after spring break in Panama City Beach. No calls, no texts, just poof. Gone. Amanda says Mike goes down to the county records office and spends half a day trying to figure out who actually owns this hunk of junk. After 3 hours of arguing with a clerk, who probably deserves hazard pay, they confirm title is still with Sunpalm Estates LLC. So now Mike is out $500, plus whatever dignity he had left after begging his uncle to cosign on a loan for a trailer he never actually owned. Meanwhile, word starts spreading around town about this too-good-to-be-true deal, and suddenly everyone has an opinion or a horror story to share. Mrs. Patel next door says her cousin lost $5,000 buying an RV off Facebook Marketplace that turned out to be stolen. Old man Carl at Morning Coffee claims he once bought a boat trailer for cheap only to discover it had been underwater since Hurricane Irma. Even my own mom chimes in with tales about shady cash-only deals outside Piggly Wiggly back in '98. Never again, she whispers dramatically. But here's where things go nuclear. Regina posts an official notice on every mailbox in Sunpalm warning residents about unauthorized real estate activity and threatening legal action against anyone caught showing or selling lots without management approval. Cue mass panic. People start asking if they can lose their homes if they post listings online or, God forbid, try to sublet without filling out 3 forms and sacrificing a goat under the full moon. Okay, maybe not literally, but close. Suddenly, everyone is paranoid. The Facebook group blows up with questions about lease clauses no one has read since Bush was president. Jenny finds people screenshotting each other's Zillow links as if snitching will earn them extra bingo cards at next week's Clubhouse Mixer. And poor Mike, he files a police report, but guess what? Since he voluntarily sent money without seeing paperwork or keys, there's nothing law enforcement can do except shake their heads and warn everyone else not to be so gullible next time. It gets better, or worse depending how much you love chaos, because now Regina decides this is her moment to shine as queen of rules enforcement. She hires her nephew Troy, fresh out of community college criminal justice classes, as official compliance officer. Suddenly, Troy is patrolling in his Dodge Neon looking for violations. Unregistered pets, garden gnomes over regulation height, wind chimes too loud after 9 p.m., you name it. One night, Jenny texts me frantically because she saw Troy shining a flashlight into window wells looking for evidence of illicit subletting. Is that even legal? Who knows? It's Florida. Meanwhile, Amanda's cousin Mike is now famous, not just around Sunpalm, but basically anywhere within Wi-Fi range, as the guy who got scammed by Randy. People start calling him Trailer Mike behind his back, and sometimes to his face. One neighbor even sets up a lemonade stand outside his unit with a cardboard sign reading $2 home tour BioBug spray. You have to laugh or you'll cry. But then comes the meeting, the infamous HOA showdown at Sunpalm Clubhouse, where Regina lays down her new rules. 1. No private sales without written permission from management and background checks on both buyer and seller. Seriously. 2. All repairs must be approved via official form F12B, available Tuesdays/Thursdays between 11 and 1 p.m. only. 3. Any attempt at unauthorized leasing equals immediate eviction proceedings, plus possible fines up to $2,500, which is more than most folks paid for their entire home 20 years ago. 4. No more than 2 flamingo lawn ornaments per household. We are not running Jurassic Park. Regina shouts, everyone groans except old Mr. Hickey, who yells down with pink tyranny, before storming out clutching his ceramic bird army under one arm. By now, Jenny is convinced Regina secretly wants everyone gone so she can flip all these lots herself. But honestly, who would want them after the circus? Rumor has it several investors showed up during open house weekend hoping for foreclosure bargains, but left gagging after seeing firsthand what happens when humidity meets 40-year-old plywood floors. The smell alone could kill small mammals. Meanwhile, Amanda says Mike finally tracks down Randy via Instagram DMs, only to learn Randy has moved on to selling investment opportunities in Northport, where apparently you can buy half-built tiny homes direct from China, no permits needed. For less than your average Disney ticket, some people never learn. And then, you guessed it, a new listing pops up online. Same trailer but now advertised as Motivated Seller Handyman Special. With fresh photos showing tarps over half the roof and ominous stains crawling down the walls like some kind of horror movie special effect. Price: down to $1,200 OBO. Like, why not just pay someone $20 to haul it away at this point? People lose their minds speculating who could possibly want this thing now. Maybe for Airbnb, could be cheaper than camping. Perfect set for low-budget zombie flick. Of course, everyone tags Trailer Mike just for laughs until he rage quits Facebook altogether. You'd think that would be the end, but oh no. Regina announces surprise inspections next week. Everyone must prove they aren't harboring squatters or conducting illegal renovations or operating unlicensed businesses. Looking at you, Mr. Patel, with your Etsy tie-dye side hustle. The tension is so thick you could cut it with those plastic knives they hand out at HOA meet and greets. Jenny calls me late one night giggling hysterically because she spotted Troy snapping photos of someone's laundry line, evidence of commercial laundering, he claims. We debate whether he'll try writing citations for mismatched socks next. Meanwhile, local gossip ramps up another notch. Some say Randy used fake paperwork borrowed from another park. Others whisper SunPom management might have been involved from day one trying to scare off long-term tenants so they can raise lot rents yet again. Oh yeah, I forgot THAT bombshell. Suddenly lot rent jumps another $50 overnight, inflation adjustment, Regina claims, and everyone loses their collective minds because now even people who did nothing wrong are getting squeezed. Jenny finds flyers stuffed under windshields warning residents about predatory wholesalers, but also warning not to talk to the press, which obviously means someone already did. And sure enough, there's an article online next morning quoting anonymous neighbors calling SunPom a real-life Twilight Zone. I mean, they're not wrong. Amanda tells me Mike is now consulting some lawyer recommended by his uncle, first consultation free, who claims they might have grounds for small claims court, but admits winning will take months. Plus, Randy probably doesn't even use his real last name anyway, so good luck serving papers. The stress takes its toll. Jenny catches Mr. Hickey muttering about moving back north, where at least snow covers up ugly roofs. Mrs. Patel starts researching RV parks in Georgia. Even Regina seems rattled when someone draws cartoon flamingos wearing prison stripes all over her parking spot with sidewalk chalk. I ask Amanda if Mike regrets everything now. She says he mostly regrets trusting anyone named Randy east of I-75. But then, the shocker. One night Jenny hears sirens outside SunPom Clubhouse. A fire truck pulls up right by that trailer, the infamous $2K disaster shack, and smoke pours out every window. Apparently some kids broke inside trying to film TikTok videos, urban exploring gone wrong, according to local PD, but instead set fire to an old mattress left behind by one of those squatters. A panel truck arrives next morning marked HAZMAT crew. They rope off half the block while men in suits haul out charred insulation like something from CSI Miami. Suddenly, rumor mill explodes. Did Regina torch the place herself? Did Randy come back seeking revenge? Did Trailer Mike hire someone just so people would stop tagging him on Facebook? Nobody knows, but overnight price drops again. You can now own part of SunPom history for free, as long as you promise demolition within 30 days. Some folks joke we should turn it into community garden. Others say just pave it over and call it art installation. But one thing everyone agrees on: things will never be boring around here, as long as Florida real estate keeps serving chaos hotter than July asphalt. And as I watch hazmat crews packing up late Friday night, I swear I spot Troy sneaking photos for evidence. But whose side is he really on? I text Jenny. Place bets which trailer goes up next. She replies with 3 flamingo emojis, and I realize SunPom Estates might just out-crazy us all yet. P.S. They never did find Randy, but rumor has it he's selling fixer-uppers outside Tallahassee now, and Mike? Well, Last I heard, he moved into his uncle's spare room, still waiting on that refund check, and swearing off Facebook Marketplace forever, maybe.